Welcome to America's #1 Cincinnati-based museum podcast. Meanwhile, at the museum, the show that takes you behind the scenes of Cincinnati Museum Center with our friends who work here and our friends from beyond. Not beyond the grave, just beyond the museum center. Over there on the ones and twos is our producer and co-host, Magic Mitch.
Hey.
I'm your host, Cody Hefner. Today, we are joined by Cameron Schwalbach. Schwalbach. Yes?
Yep.
He's our Paleontology Collections Manager. So Cameron, does that technically make you a paleontologist?
Yes, I am technically a paleontologist.
I don't mean to be insulting. I don't know what the bar is for that.
That's a good question. I think the title, maybe a degree and a title would do it.
Okay.
And you have both?
I do.
All right. So what is your degree?
Well, my degree's technically, I got a master's in geology with a concentration in paleontology. So most of the degrees are just in geology, and you kind of pick your project from there.
Are all paleontologists geologists? But not all geologists are paleontologists?
Correct, yeah. Paleontology is you have to go to school for geology to get like the foundational education on Earth history and whatnot, and then you can like build upon that and concentrate on the animals, which is what I did.
Yeah, I would imagine you need to know a lot about biology as well as geology.
Yeah, paleontology is unique, and geology, you kind of need a little bit of all the sciences, so you don't need to be like ridiculously proficient in any one. Like I don't need to be the world's best physicist, or chemist, but I do use physics and chemistry in my research.
Mitch and I recently shared with the world that we know the 3 types of rocks. So
it's a good place to start.
Are amateur geologists, which are igneous, metamorphic, and
sedimentary.
Sedimentary, right?
Yes. Ding, ding, ding.
All right. Are fossils found in all 3 types of rock?
Yeah, they are. Most commonly sedimentary, less commonly metamorphic, and almost never igneous, because usually when you get contacted with like igneous rocks, they're in the form of like super hot lava or something. And
liquid hot magma?
Liquid hot magma, exactly. But it's funny you ask, because we just recently, one of the collections we acquisitioned from Muskingum University had a sample of fossil wood in volcanic rock, and I had never seen it before. Yeah, we just got this.
See,
so, really exciting.
You just said that, and that's a reminder to me that not all fossils are animals. That plants are fossils. Any organic matter can be a fossil,
yeah,
right?
Organic matter or evidence of any animal or plant life. So you could like a footprint,
fossils.
for example, yeah, or a worm trail.
All right, so your degree's in geology.
Yep.
Where'd you get it from?
I went to the University of Cincinnati for both my bachelor's and my master's.
Okay. How do you go from Cincinnati to dinosaurs? Or were you more immersed in Ordovician, which are kind of, I don't know, not native here, but more prominent here in Cincinnati?
Yeah. I mean, they're from here. The provenance, you'd say, the provenance of the rocks are Ordovician here. But yeah, I grew up in Cincinnati, like an hour, 45 minutes east of here, and it's in the country, and like I had creeks running through the woods. I spent a lot of time at my grandma's house. Like my parents worked like a job or two, and I was there at my grandma's house when I wasn't at school. She was a nature lover, and she just let us run around outside in her acres, and I would just explore the woods and collect turtle shells and bones and rocks from the creek. And so that was kind of my first. I was like 7 or 8 years old when I was doing this and getting my first fossil collection going. I should have brought one in. I still have fossils from this time, like by my standards now, something I might not collect, but these cool little crinoid stems that I put in a plastic box and wrote piece of tape and number 2 on and started my little notebook. And
you were accessioning them into your own collections.
Before I was like 10 years old, I have like my own little catalog book going.
That's awesome.
Did you know they were fossils?
Yeah. I was lucky enough to like my parents would bring me places like Cincinnati Museum Center when I was younger, and we had a gift shop then, and they had fossil identification books for Cincinnati fossils. So I was like making the connection of what I was finding in the creek and what I could see both in the museum and like in the books that I was getting here. And then I think what really clicked is I went on a field trip with Boy Scouts or Cub Scouts at the time to East Fork Lake, and we went fossil collecting. And if you've ever been to East Fork Lake, it's just the giant spillway of just fossiliferous rocks, and I was in heaven and filled up probably 2 many gallon bags full for my mom's approval.
So you've just always been into fossils. You've always been fascinated. Did it start from, I think for a lot of people, they think it's from when you're really little, you're 2 and 3, and you're playing with toy dinosaurs and stuff. did it come from kind of a love of dinosaurs or a love of the outdoors and what you were finding out there?
I think it was definitely a love of the outdoors and nature and just like the natural form. And I was just always amazed at everything, really. Like, nature is just cool.
Yeah.
I mean, go out right now and you can just find cool stuff. I mean, it's hard not to. It's impossible not to. And I would literally spend all day outside. And my grandma, I would only come back for lunch because she had a dinner bell, a foot tall dinner bell she would ring. And I'd hear like a mile, 2 miles away, and you're like, oh, lunchtime, and run through the woods and try to get back.
So you grew up like Tom Sawyer. So,
Yeah,
I guess
a
Huck
little
Finn?
bit, a little bit.
I
I think I'm more of a Tom Sawyer guy, but I'd like to be Huck Finn.
Are you a big Rush fan? How do you feel
Yeah,
about the
I
band?
love
Okay,
Rush. Love
nice.
Rush.
Well, that'll come up later. Are you or were you as interested in living things as well, or were you more
Oh, yeah.
kind of what you just find lying around?
Yeah, I mean, when I tell the story, I focus on fossils because I'm a paleontologist now, but I was like, I had little bug cages, and I was collecting bugs and like observing my praying mantises for a day before I let them go, and I don't know, just catching tadpoles and letting them turn into frogs, like watching butterflies emerge from cocoons.
What,
A
so
little bit of everything, really.
then where's that fork in the road where you take this love of the outdoors and it could have shot you into zoology and the study of that versus paleontology? What was the deciding factor for you?
Well, it wasn't so much a deciding factor. I mean, I was really into this stuff when I was younger, and like as I got older, I guess growing up in rural Ohio, science wasn't exactly a focus, I'll say, and it wasn't presented to me as a viable career option to be a successful person. And I'm a kid, so I don't know really what success even is at the time. I was a sports kid. I played lots of sports all the time, and I loved that too. And I was just kind of just almost going through the motions, just playing sports. And then before I know it, high school's done, and I got to figure out what to do. I didn't take a single science class in high school because we had this weird small school thing where I kind of had to declare a major out of 8th grade. Look up Bill Gates small schools. You can know more. Not a great
13-year-olds are notorious.
Not a
for-
great program. This just like emphasized all the cliques that were already present and forming in middle school. So like everybody just went with their friends.
Yeah.
And I continued to do that into college. I just declared myself an international business major and went to liberal arts school on a basketball scholarship for a year, and was like really hating life. Just I wasn't doing anything I was really interested in. No science. I was like going to econ classes and like learning how to be a businessman. Which, if you know me, I am not a businessman.
You look more like a pirate. You kind of got pirate vibes, and
Yeah.
that's a compliment.
No, taken as such.
I have questions about it later, but let's keep with the trajectory now.
I went fast forward. I went to college. I went to study abroad program over in Spain while I was business major. Studied no business there. I just studied art and Spanish heritage and culture, and I was immediately like launched out of depression and realized that I couldn't go back and be a business major and continue this life path. I was in Spain for like 4 or 5 months, and towards the end of that, after I came to this realization, I literally made a list of like all the stuff that I liked doing when I was little and the stuff that I was passionate about, and I just kept coming back to fossils and nature and like paleontology, and I was like, okay, I'm going to be a paleontologist, and looked up UC's program, decided I was going to do it, and the day I came back, I went and talked to the head of the undergraduate program and changed my degree.
Did it add any years to your
No,
college experience?
no, because it would have. But then I told him about. It was a nice conversation, and he was like, "Well, why do you want to change?" And I gave him kind of a lot of the information that we just talked about of my history. I was a serious young scientist, so I like knew most of the basic stuff already. And I told him this. I was like, "I don't think I need these intro classes." And he was like, "Well, this is college. You can't really do this." And I was like, "Well, can I test out of it?" And he like gave me a test on the spot, just off the top of his head, and asked me like 10 questions, and my answers were sufficient. He was like, "All right, just take a field course over the summer, and then we'll consider these intro classes done." And then I was immersed in the program, and that was Carl Brett, and I ended up being my master's advisor.
I was going to say, can we get this name so that every kid who's like, oh my gosh, I'm in college for 5 or 6 years because I changed majors and I have to check all these boxes and stuff. So Carl Bratton, that's who.
He's notoriously the most like passionate paleontologist.
Well, it's interesting that you said, growing up in rural Ohio, science wasn't a career. Like it wasn't
It was touted as
right. But that's from a technical perspective, because when you, and this is not meant the stereotype, but the small town that I grew up in, farming and manufacturing both use a ton of science. So it's like practical science, and people don't think of it as textbook science. And so there's that interesting disconnect that I mean, you were out in the woods, you were doing science every day, whether you thought it was science or not. But you knew that.
Yeah, and I lost that path along the way. I don't know how it happened, but
let's get philosophical here. A lot of times schooling becomes kind of, you have to take language arts and you have to get this grade to pass, and then you have to take social studies, and these things are kind of prescribed to you so that you are well-rounded, that you can see the different opportunities. And then wildly, some 8th graders are saying, this is what I want my high school major to be, and screw the rest of it. But for a lot of people, their education experience is about checking boxes. It's about being well-rounded. And you lose that passion because that passion for learning just gets, sometimes it can get lost in the process of getting through these check boxes.
Right.
So it's awesome to have people to have these moments where you recapture that and you find that again, because, I mean, knowing you and looking at you, it's, I mean, Mitch, how confident would you feel taking business advice, international business advice from Cameron?
100%.
Oh, well.
Thanks, Mitch. Thanks.
I guess I'm the jerk. Although, listen, the
beard is not a businessman beard.
I wanted to save this. What's your beard routine? What do you like?
Oh, there is none.
There's no routine. You're not like.
There's some oil that goes into it.
Do you do beard wash or anything? Do you shampoo?
Oh,
your
I
beard?
shampoo it. Yeah. It's like an extension of my head hair.
Head and shoulders. Are you doing 2-in-1? Or are you doing shampoo and conditioner?
I'm a Bronner's guy. I just do Dr. Bronner's.
Okay.
It's like the all-purpose soap. It's like utilitarian soap.
Like head to toe.
Yeah, and then I'll get out of the shower and do some like beard oil, like Moroccan oil.
Yeah.
Argan oil. Yeah.
And you are you combing it? Are you brushing it? Or you just
I do a little brush. I do comb sometimes if it gets a little like bird nesty.
Yeah.
But it's all bird nesty anyway because I got pretty curly hair, so I just kind of let it go.
How often are you trimming it? Or are you just letting it take its course?
It just goes. Goes. Yeah.
All right. Do you have any beard questions, Mitch?
I don't. I couldn't achieve that. So
anyone can achieve one. I see. This is like a natural experiment. I was just like, I'm gonna see what happens if I just like let my hair grow like an animal. And there you go.
What's pirate may not be the best comparison.
I can do pirate. It just depends on the hat a lot.
This is very like mid 1800s riverboat captain. So maybe like a river pirate, because you have it's like a Fievel hat.
You can just keep these compliments coming.
I am. That's Fievel's hat, right? Fievel.
Yeah.
What's
what is the style of hat?
Fievel.
Does it have a name?
American tail. Fievel goes west.
Yes.
I didn't know if you had like a name for the style of hat. Like
I think I didn't, but I've since discovered it's a Greek fisherman's cap.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
This is fun. I know this is an audio medium, but I hope we're painting a picture, because this is a blast. I mean, I saw a picture of you recently in the field, and it's like if they made a film about old-timey paleontology. Like, what was paleontology like in the 1880s? And there's Cameron in his boots, and his beard, and his, like, it's not quite a cowboy hat. It's not quite a fedora. A lot of beige going on, and then this, like, canvas tarp over the site. I mean, it was, like, picture perfect. And as a, like, marketing and PR person, I'm like, love that. I want people to conjure up these images, and it's real. It's not staged or anything. Like, this is just you out in the field.
You got to dress for the job you want.
When was your first dig? When did you first go on a legit sanctioned dig?
Like a dinosaur dig, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's a new thing for me, because my research history, what I work on is in invertebrate paleontology. Like, I'm an expert on the rocks around here. I did these from a master's degree.
What was your master's thesis?
It was the paleoecology and stratigraphy of the Waynesville Formation and its correlatives in central Kentucky.
Of course. So,
love it.
If I were a 10-year-old, how would you explain it to me?
I look at the rocks around here, and I examine and count and study all of the fossils in them and the rock types that they're preserved in. And then I reconstruct a paleo-environmental gradient, which is a fancy term for like the description of the changes in mud and substrate, which is the mud and sand that all these things are living in, and the animals that are there from position A to position B. So in my rocks series, you can down in Kentucky, you can look at this unit of rocks, and it's like they have mud cracks in them. There's not very many fossils because these are like near shore environments. You can find the paleo shoreline of the Ordovician.
Wow.
And if you follow these same rocks all the way north, this is down south by Richmond, Kentucky. If you go all the way north to the Waynesville, Ohio, which is where these rocks are named for, they're much thicker. And rather than these like non-fossiliferous mud-cracked rocks that are all dolomitic, they're really mud-rich, and they have beautiful trilobites that are some of the biggest you can find in the region. The nice rolly trilobites you get, all of these like bryozoans and offshore communities of like really rich fossil populations.
In your research for that, are you going to? You're just kind of driving from Waynesville,
yeah,
to Richmond,
Mm-hmm.
and you're just kind of stopping along the way, looking at the rocks. Is that?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to oversimplify, but you're doing the work.
That's exactly what it is, and we're trying to find evidence to trace this same layer. Like we look for unique fossils that can only be found in this layer or these sets of layers, and then we go to the next outcrop we can find, look at the rocks and fossils, and try to match those up. And then we just keep going farther and farther away, and doing kind of bookending like the unit of rocks we're after, and then we can like keep noting those bookends as we go farther and farther south until we can't find evidence for them anymore.
So in Waynesville, you're seeing more fossils.
It's like an offshore environment.
The sea is deeper there?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And so why, in my mind, and I think a lot of people's minds, when you think of the Earth, newest stuff on top, oldest stuff on the bottom,
Mm-hmm.
and the fossils you're talking about are 420 million years old?
445 or so. Almost 500 million.
Which are almost 3 times as old as most of the dinosaurs that people are thinking about.
Oh,
right?
yeah, for sure.
So why here is that stuff so easy to find? Like, shouldn't that be way, way further underground?
Yeah, and one point it was. So, I mean, we're getting a very complicated geologic history of our continent.
Let's go.
So back 450 million years ago, when these things were alive, our continent was mostly submerged under ocean because the ocean levels were generally higher during that time for a variety of different reasons. But rather than the central plains where they are now, we just have 200 feet of ocean, subtropical ocean, because of the way plate tectonics move things around the globe. So we were positioned at the subtropical latitudes. So, and given that this was 450 million years ago,
south of the equator.
Yep, about
Wow.
20 degrees south of the equator. The weather is somewhat like the Bahamas is now, not quite the same environment, and there's lots of different animals, like fish were just evolving, for example. There was no fish found in this region so far, and the ones that were alive didn't have jaws yet. So these things are all alive. They're dying, getting deposited. There's a mountain building event that's providing all the mud that preserves the animals that we have here. At the same time, these animals are creating calcium carbonate limestone skeletons that are making the limestones that are alternating with those shales. Fast forward through time, like the mountains are eroding. This basin of deposition keeps getting filled. As this mountain building happens, the continents around the globe are colliding and separating, because we're talking about hundreds of millions of years. And every time these continents separate, there's bends and breaks in the crust. And over time, these pushed this part of the country above sea level. And once you're above the sea level, you're pretty much in an erosive environment rather than a depositional one.
Just wind and everything kind of.
All of these rocks that were piled on top of the Ordovician rocks that are preserved here and exposed now, all of these rocks were shoved up and then weathered away and eroded away until this region of the country was back down to its equilibrium state. And this was sometime between like the Carboniferous period and the Pleistocene, like when the Ice Age fossils we have here are. And it's hard for us to pin that down because we don't have evidence of it because it's all removed.
Right. So all of that kind of younger stuff has been eroded away. It doesn't exist. It's not like the Earth got flipped upside down.
No.
Necessarily.
It's sometimes explained like when you have like a rug on the ground and you push something across the rug, that rug like bends up,
rolls up. Yeah.
So if you can imagine a mountain building event where there's continents being pushed against the edge of your other continent, inside part of that continent's going to bulge up, and where we are right now is that bulge. we actually call that in geology. It's called the Cincinnati Arch, because the rocks bent up and they form an archway, and then the top of that archway is eroded off to expose the rocks in the middle, which are those Ordovician rocks that we're so famous for.
So is thinking of a rug, is that your preferred way to think about plate tectonics? Because here's mine. Subduction, is that when a plate kind of slides under another one and kind of gets shoved down under? I like to think of cookies that are pulled out of the oven, like that are fresh, and you kind of scoop the spatula under them, and if they're not cooked enough, they'll kind of roll up on you.
Yep.
That's
exactly.
Generally what as you were talking, I was like, sure, rug, but what if it's a chocolate?
No, that's a great analogy. And better to bring to class because the students would like that one.
Yeah, that's true.
I bring rugs to class, nobody gets excited.
I didn't know geology would make me hungry.
Often
Really?
does.
Yeah.
We're big on food.
Have you ever had those edible rocks?
The edible rocks?
Salt?
They're all edible.
Tell your dentist.
I'm just
that.
kidding. Don't eat the rocks.
No, like you can get like a kid's birthday cake that's dinosaur themed. They'll have little edible rocks. I don't know, like malt balls or something, but
I've seen those. I was never so lucky.
yeah. Well, me neither. I wasn't I kind of was a dinosaur kid. I kind of was a fossil kid, but so I grew up 2 hours north of here.
Okay.
Allen County, Auglaize County. Would I find fossils there? Like,
Yeah, certainly.
How easily would it be for me to find fossils there?
I mean, anywhere from here to here to Dayton north, if you go north, it's like all Ordovician. But even when you go farther, like Columbus, for example, is famous for fossils as well. Like Devonian age, it's like 350
Really?
million, 360 million years, 380. And they're really famous for those. Ohio State fossil is like from the Columbus limestone in the Cleveland Shale. It's the Dunkleosteus, the big armored fish.
So that's Ohio State fossil?
State vertebrate fossil.
And then the state invertebrate fossil is
Isotylus maximus. It's a big trilobite from like Cedar Creek and other Cincinnati areas.
Your focus is really on invertebrate fossils. How do you get dragged into vertebrate fossils? Are you kind of begrudgingly like, fine, let's go look at dinosaurs?
No. It was not begrudging at all. Trust me. So when I was in my undergrad getting my degree, one of the first things I did was sign up for an internship-like course. It was called, what was it? Museum curation something or other. It was with Brenda Hunda, our invertebrate curator, and my now boss.
Yeah.
And I took this
staff martial artist.
Yeah, staff martial. There's this course offered. I took this course, and it was basically like she just walked me through the process of like curatorial practices, like the most common thing she does, cataloging fossils, like recording them in the logbook and things like that. And I had such a good time. It was like a semester-long thing, and I just stayed on as a volunteer. And occasionally there'd be an internship popping up for some grant money or something, and I would apply and occasionally get it. And I did this for like 10 years. And stayed here, volunteering in my spare time for like 10 years. And eventually an NSF grant was landed to get the University of Minnesota collection. And from what I understand, you have to ask them, Brenda and Glenn, about this, but they were looking for somebody for quite some time, like 2 months, and just couldn't find anyone. And then it was brought to Glenn's attention that there was somebody down in the collection that had been here for 10 years that's pretty much doing all this stuff anyway, at least on one side of the room. So they walked down and asked me upstairs for an interview, and here I am.
I imagine you just, as they were interviewing, you just kept walking in like, oh, sorry, I didn't know anyone was in here. What are you guys talking about? What are you doing?
Well, and then that first summer is when Glenn was leading. We went back out to check out some of the dinosaur sites, and we went to Utah to where the Barosaurus was excavated, and went to get some more of that skeleton.
So the Barosaurus, that's the tail in the front of the window?
Yeah, and if you go to the front of the window, it's like the articulated sauropod tail from the Aaron Scott Quarry in Utah.
Today's the first day I heard that name. I've seen the tail for years.
Mm-hmm.
Today's the first day I heard the name. So as a Barosaurus, long neck plant eater, is that what it is? Okay.
Sauropod, much like the ones that are in the beginning of Dinosaur Hall. I believe it's a diplodocid.
Before we jump off this topic, I want your snap, crackle, and pop, your top 3 dinosaur or paleontology films, as well as top 3, we'll say fossils. We won't say dinosaurs. If there's a dinosaur in there, fine. But what are your top 3 fossils or prehistoric animals?
Top 3 fossils or prehistoric animals. I'm going to start off by saying that I'm horrible at favorites. And if you ask me this next week, it's going to be 3 different things. But I love Flexicalimini, the local trilobite that you always find rolled up in a little ball, because it's kind of, I don't know if there was any one like gateway to the Cincinnati fossils, but it's like a famous one, and it's on like the cover of a lot of books, and I know it's ingrained in me.
Is it like a
So-
little like mud armadillo?
It's like a arthropod related to modern day horseshoe crabs.
Yeah.
So they're like, we call them bugs, because they look kind of like bugs. They're extinct now, but they resembled like roly-poly isopods that you see in the environment today on land.
So that's is
That's
that number
one.
one, or is just one of the?
That's probably the one I mentioned the most,
Okay.
because it like impacted where I am today, and it has a Cincinnati connection. This is where I stray off. I often say Spinosaurus is my favorite dinosaur because it's got this cool mystery behind it, and it just like becomes more and more aquatic the more we discover about it, which is kind of cool.
Wasn't that the quote unquote villain dinosaur in Jurassic Park 3?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
I always thought that was not real. Like they made it up for the movie.
Well,
Well,
they kind of did.
they kind of did. Yeah, we've learned a lot about it since then, and it's more of like a aquatic, semi-aquatic thing
Yeah.
than a Tyrannosaurus with a sail.
Which kind of makes it more terrifying.
Yeah, I think so too, which is why I keep mentioning it.
Yeah, it's like if you're running from a bear and you climb a tree and then the bear starts climbing the tree, you're like, oh crap.
They did go with the more aquatic version in the recent Jurassic Park Rebirth. I haven't seen the movie. Have you?
I haven't either. No, I have only seen the first Jurassic World.
Yeah, me too.
I need to watch them because I'm constantly asked these questions. It's like
Yeah.
almost a requirement that I watch these.
I always say Jurassic Park is the Top Gun for paleontology.
It is.
Or
Yeah.
almost science and genetics.
It is a
kinda.
gateway. Like you have to I have to be able to talk about it.
Yeah.
I can't be a paleontologist and not. It's funny because we went out on. Glenn has a student. Glenn Stores, our curator of vertebrate paleontology, has a student that works one of our dinosaur sites out in Wyoming, a late Cretaceous site, and he employs a lot of student volunteers, and this ages you if you go there as a supervisor. All these 20-year-old kids.
Yeah.
There was, I'm not kidding you, 3 topics of conversation around the fire at night in Paleo. It's Jurassic Park, new dinosaur science, and Godzilla. You could not talk about a single other thing, and if you tried, it would be diverted to one of these 3 conversations.
Do you? So, I asked you also about your top 3 dinosaur films. Would you consider Godzilla a dinosaur film, or?
I might get in trouble for this, but I think maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Mitch,
I
what do
mean,
you
if we're
think?
going to consider the new Jurassic Park's dinosaur films, we have
I
to.
I
We have to
think
have-
in the original Godzilla that he was
Yeah,
supposed to be a
I think
dinosaur
so, yeah.
that was like reawakened by the atomic bomb.
Right.
That was like it's like the Meg, right? Like it was.
Yeah, something like I haven't seen
Hid,
that
it
back.
was like buried under the Mariana Trench, but then there was this disruption of water pressure or something, and it pops into the main ocean.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Science is cool.
See me for all your bad movie information. All right, so we got two of your top fossils down. What's the third?
Oh, I wasn't ready for a third. I don't know. We'll pick a plant. I like fossil pine cones. Those are fun.
What?
Just fossil pine cones. They're just cool.
Oh, pine cone. Yeah.
Are they a lot like
Are they
modern day
bigger?
pine cones?
Yeah, it looks like a pine cone but a rock.
Huh? That's awesome.
Yeah, and they're fun to collect if you see them. They're just like little pine cones on the ground.
Really?
Yeah, and people often overlook them because they're looking for dinosaur bones in these places. So you can be the guy that's like getting the pine cones.
Top 3 dinosaur movies.
Well, Jurassic Park has to be there. It's a show but not a movie. I don't know if you guys have seen this show Primal.
Heard of it?
It's really
No.
good. There's no dialogue. Really unique animated thing. It's not exactly paleo accurate because this whole storyline is this caveman that has a pet / friend tyrannosaur.
Sure.
Doesn't match
Yeah.
up, but it's a really cool show. Third one. I don't know that there's not that many.
Mitch,
I
your
don't know
top
if there's
3.
that many good ones.
Well, it doesn't matter. They're good. That's your 3 favorite. Mitch, what are yours?
I'm gonna
were
throw
a
in
dinosaur
growing up, The Land Before Time.
Oh,
the original Land Before Time.
I can't believe I forgot that because I watched it yesterday.
It's because
Like I literally watched that yesterday, and it's a.
You just
We're gonna
felt
just
like-
we have to move that to number 1 because that's like a childhood
Yes. Yeah.
ingrained memory of mine.
I love that everyone's
I
like
literally watched it yesterday.
the generational trauma ends with me. Anyway, I'm going to show my kid The Land
Yeah.
Before Time.
Here's my Don Bluth film collection.
This is a Don Bluth heavy episode. Land Before Time, Mitch. That's one.
Obviously Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park. All
I'm
right,
gonna
two
add
in common.
Dinosaurs the show too.
Like not the mama.
Yeah, the Jim Henson costumes.
Yeah, it was like
Not the mama.
it was like if Roseanne took
Yeah.
place during the Jurassic.
Like John Goodman as a dinosaur.
Yes.
Did you ever see how that show ends?
No.
Yeah, it's the
The finale
like-
is that Earl Sinclair somehow caused the extinction of all the dinosaurs, and he's like goes in to tell his family that he's sorry that he ended the world, and then
then the
it
show ends.
Yeah, there's like a newscaster saying like, "Sorry
This is it."
everybody, this is it."
Is it like
It's like the most dismal end to a comedy sitcom show I think ever maybe.
Probably.
I mean, people talk about the finale, the ending of Sopranos a lot and Lost. You don't hear enough about dinosaurs.
It's better than the Lost ending, I'll tell you that. A horrible ending.
Another dinosaur movie that I watched growing up as a kid, also not very scientifically accurate. We're Back, A Dinosaur Story.
That's a good one.
Oh, I
Yeah,
don't
I
know
like
if I
that
know
one.
that one.
Oh, it's classic.
It is.
Also John Goodman.
Yeah.
These dinosaurs have been given brain grain, and they become intelligent and go to the present day.
They have a parade
There's
in New York City, I think.
Yeah, and then there's the evil Professor Screw-Eye can also give you brain drain and like de-evolve you. So he wants to like make the dinosaurs as scary monsters for his evil dark circus.
And this is animated?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to say, it was wild. We had Julia Child earlier this year, and it suddenly clicked for me that Julia Child voiced the Dr. Miriam Bleeb in We're
Oh my
Back.
gosh.
Are you
are
serious?
right.
Yep.
Wow. Amazing.
I just was hearing her voice watching some like promotional videos, and I was like, wait a second. I know that
I
voice.
know that voice
All
from my
right,
childhood.
So with Mitch's invigoration of my memory, I'm going to redo my top 3. Land Before Time,
Yeah.
The Dinosaur Show, and Jurassic Park.
Still two out of 3 in
With
common.
Primal as a close 4th. You guys should both watch that.
And it's animated. There's no dialogue.
Yeah, no dialogue at all. It's just about like feelings and emotions.
All right. So your first, tell us about your first experience going on a dinosaur dig, and how's that different from going into the field for Ordovician fossils or for invertebrate?
There's a lot more planning and equipment involved for the most part. I mean, I took a lot of planning for my master's field work, but it was kind of just like making sure I had my hammers and notebooks and food and water for the day. Everything fits in a backpack or maybe in another bag in my car. When Glenn and I went out for the first summer, we went to Utah for the Aaron Scott Quarry and spent 2 days packing the truck full, 20-foot trailer full of stuff, like more plaster and burlap. And I mean, I'm putting things in baggies as an invertebrate paleontologist. We're filling up a 20-foot trailer full of fossils and staying out there for 2.5 weeks.
So are you essentially you're packing the trailer, and as you're out there, you're kind of emptying it and then refilling it with the fossils?
Yeah, well, kind of. Well, half of it's our camp because we're staying in the desert. So
Yeah.
you have to bring your kitchen and your food and all this stuff, toilet paper, toilet. You have to bring your toilet.
All right.
And I'm the new guy. Guess who carried that one?
All right. What are you eating out there in the field? What are you most looking forward to eating when you're out there camping at a field site?
Honestly, it's usually pretty good because you have to eat. You're working in this desert all day. You have to. If you don't eat good, you're not only going to be suffering, but literally physically suffering. You'll be unhealthy and not doing your work. So usually we start off with a really big breakfast of Glenn's famous for his breakfasts.
Is it really?
He'll get up early and make you Spam and eggs is his thing. Really good. And Glenn's been doing the field thing for 20 years or more, so he's got it down. We went out. We had some help from one of our associates that dug up the Torvosaurus that's on display.
Mm-hmm.
He came out and assisted us in the field and brought a whole salmon. And so that was a nice surprise for the
Wow.
day. Yeah. So he just unannounced put a whole salmon on the grill. So these are the best days. Lunch is a little more scavengy. You're like making sandwiches, do the PB&J thing.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of dried fruit and nuts because I can just put it in my pocket.
Yeah.
Canned fish, I'm big on.
Really?
Yeah.
Like
People love that.
tuna or sardines?
So I'm a sardine guy. I do
Really?
tuna too, but I'm like, I got sardines in the lab waiting for me right now. Nobody sits with me at lunch.
All right, but some proteins,
Yeah.
some fats in there, and
And
sardines.
dinner's
kinda
great. I
keep
mean,
you going.
dinner, you're working hard and you often end the day with a beer, age appropriate,
Yeah. Well,
and something on the grill usually.
So what is a typical day like for you in the field? Like what you're waking up, you're eating breakfast. How long are you out there? What do you?
The earlier the better, because we're usually in the desert and it's hot. It gets hot quick, and if you stay in your tent too long, you're just gonna wake up because your tent just starts cooking you.
Yeah.
So the earlier you get started, the sooner you can get done. And by noontime, it's usually too hot to work anyway. So we're getting up at like the sun, eating breakfast, going out to our field site, staying there, eating a light lunch, and then usually finishing up by like I'd say like 3 because it gets so hot, and then come back and like consolidate your notes and organize your thoughts for the day so you don't forget what you do tomorrow when you wake up and start doing the physical work again.
Now, if you're out there in the field for a week,
Mhm.
are you just taking trucker baths? Are you just
Well,
how are you? Are you just like letting the
it depends.
sweat and the dirt build a barrier for you?
That's the barrier thing, I think, mostly.
Yeah.
There'll be like weekly trips or maybe more than weekly trips to like town to
Yeah.
like wash up and get supplies and things, and people take advantage of those. And like, I mean, I've showered in more than one Walmart sink.
Yeah.
You get dirty in the desert, but it's not like here. You're not just like sweltering in your own filth all the time. Your sweat's immediately evaporating, so you don't
Yeah.
feel as dirty, even though you are. So there's a lot of it's easier to take like a camp shower there than it is here, I think.
How are you?
But sometimes, and like if we go to Montana, we have a lot of fossils from Montana, and it's where Elevation Science and Katie go to do their digs, and they stay in cabins there. They're very rustic cabins, but
Yeah.
there's a shower on site. You can wake up and take a shower before you go out in the field, and they cook for you in the lodge and
Man,
put your lunch out on a table, and you just fill the bag.
they're living.
Yeah, it's nice. It's luxury.
What are you doing at night? How are you passing the time?
Well, there's those 3 topics of conversation I told you.
Yeah.
Godzilla, dinosaurs, and Jurassic Park. Yeah, you're usually talking shop, talking dinosaurs, and like in a serious way, like talking about what you found that day, drawing some conclusions, piecing together this big picture of evidence that has been building in your head like every season that you've been out here. Because these are like long-ranging projects. You're not just going out here to dig up a dinosaur and be done with it.
Yeah.
We're doing like a paleoenvironmental assessment and trying to figure out why these things are here, and doing a population and trying to figure out like how many babies, how many adults are here, and there's different questions for every project.
It's not like a stump removal where you're saying that thing's got to come out.
Right.
Let's do what we need to do to get it out of here
Mhm.
and not think about it.
Yeah,
It is,
and sometimes it
everything's-
is that, but it's in the grand scheme of a bigger picture and
Right.
project.
What's the first day back in the office like after you get back? Are you
Extreme shock. You're just like
You're just like spinning in your chair, like I don't want to be here. I don't want to be indoors.
not so much that. It's almost like there's too many people, and you've just had this like 2-week, month-long experience with like Glenn's there with me, so like we're on the same page, and like okay, Glenn and I look at Glenn, I'm like, okay, he's still in field mode. It's okay that I feel weird right now. But yeah, you're kind of just like, what do I do here? Like, I feel clean. Like there's my boots are not dusty. Like I don't have a hammer. I need to do something.
Well,
So it's a little bit of a shock. Last time we ended up at a conference, which is even weirder, because we just like show up out of the desert, drive from Montana to Michigan, and we're just like showing up as professionals, going to like lectures, and we hadn't seen more than like 10 humans.
civilization.
And,
Yeah. So I guess that also sort of brings us back to the beginning. What do you actually do here? Like what? Tell us
do.
about your job. You're the
I do a lot
Paleontology
of stuff.
Collections Manager. What does that mean?
When I simplify it, I like to think of it as like a fossil librarian a little bit. Like
That's
instead
great,
of books,
yeah.
I like keep our fossils organized. And just like a library, like people are coming there for various reasons, like for educational goals or for a research project. And it's my job to keep things organized for them to do their job easier, while also learning as much as I can about every aspect of our collection so I can help facilitate their research. And maybe they ask a question that isn't a direct, like, do you have this specimen? If they ask a question on their subject matter, the more I know about our collection, I can give them a better answer and maybe show them more things that they wouldn't necessarily have looked at before.
Yeah. If they say, I'm researching this, and you say,
Right.
oh, we have X, Y, and Z that you need to take a look at, you're kind of the walking Wikipedia for them.
A little bit.
For
And I do
all
the
of
same
us.
thing like when we have research requests for loans, and I'll get loans together and ship them out. I do a lot of education and outreach, like run tours. I work in the lab occasionally. I do a lot of shuffling from bones to the lab and back and in our new annex building.
You're the bone courier?
Bone curry. Some days, yes.
That's kind of cool.
It is.
I like that. If you could develop an exhibit on anything, what would that exhibit be?
Ooh. Well, we just made the one that I would have developed because I have the Ordovician Gallery, the Ancient Worlds
Ancient
Gallery.
Worlds,
That's
yeah.
like, it's certainly Brenda's child, but I was happy to ride the coattails. Like I've wanted that in our museum since I was a kid too, because they didn't have this when I was a kid.
No. Yeah.
And they had like teasers of it every once in a while as like temporary exhibits, and they had fossils in the gift shop and like the books, but they never had like anything that was, this is what's here. This is the Cincinnati fossils.
So having wanted that since you were a kid, like what was it like to actually be part of making it happen?
It was honestly like a dream come true. And we got funded for design. Like, it felt like the day that COVID hit. And it was an 8-hour-a-day job, and Brenda and I were just teaching our design team in Canada about our local fossils, and they were just latching on to stories, and it was just like months of education outreach. It was phenomenal. And given that I know what I'm talking about, and I'm passionate about these things, and Brenda is an excellent like supervisor. She's the type to get you involved when you should be. And her allowing me to like contribute my own expertise, I like got portions of my master's thesis and my own research in this exhibit, and like visions that I had of how to teach others about the Cincinnati environment, I got to include into this. And it was never something I thought I'd be doing. Like, it's amazing enough that I work here. To have contributed to something permanent that I dreamed about in a weird way as a kid it's hard to describe even.
That's an interesting point. Not everyone who works here has that opportunity to put something lasting on display. I mean, everyone who works here certainly plays a role, and they're so vital to what we do. But I mean, I've never developed an exhibit. I've not put my fingerprints on something that's on the museum floor every single day for someone to come in and experience. You, Mitch, you have
Yes,
a hand
Ordovician
in the
was
Ordovician.
actually the exhibit that I've been the most involved in,
Really?
making some videos. We went out to the field, talked to some paleontologists. I filmed videos with you, Cameron,
Yeah,
with
you met
Brenda,
Carl.
met Carl.
We just let him go for like 2.5 hours.
Yeah, he was awesome. And yeah, I got to meet some cool people, go to some cool dig sites, and my videos are in the exhibit. And actually, I have a cameo in one of them because
you?
I needed some more shots, and I live
Yeah.
over pretty close to the fossil park in Sharonville. And I ran over to the park and I was like, my now wife, I was like, here, film me doing this. It was like 100 degrees on Labor Day, and she still likes to joke like, you made me work on Labor Day. I'm like, you have footage in a museum.
That's true. Wow,
More footage than Cody, apparently.
100%.
You're just going to be forgotten.
As I probably should be. But that's a really great point. The opportunity to do that and to create something lasting, and I think everyone who works in the museums and who are interacting with guests has that opportunity to make a moment for a kid. I think a lot of people remember seeing something in a museum or seeing a program, and they remember that and they just latch onto it. But I mean, 20 years from now, you can point and say, let's go to my exhibit.
Yeah.
Basically.
I'll
That's
show
incredible.
you the picture of my dog that's in there.
Your dog?
Yeah, I weaseled my dog in there. Banjo.
That's
Did-
awesome.
You did the sketches for one of the flip books.
I did, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's very cool.
Thanks.
Who was I talking to? Someone on the exhibits team was Like, yeah, we asked Cameron if he could do this. And he was being such a perfectionist about it. And we're like, no, it needs to look like sketches. And
Yeah.
Cameron was like, they should look like good sketches.
I was being waited on at the end.
Were you?
Yeah,
Or
yeah, a
you
little
were
bit.
holding up the
Little
whole
bit,
operation?
Little bit, yeah. It was okay, though. It worked out.
So here's the true
was a lot of fun,
story.
yeah.
Ancient Worlds hiding in plain sight happened despite
Yeah.
Cameron. All right, so that
It was funny because we were doing that notebook, and Brenda and I kind of tag teamed that. I did like the artwork for it, and she was formatting everything and putting things together. And it's all in my handwriting, so I like created my script, and she put it in there. And at one point, she just runs out to my desk and goes, "Cameron, draw some circles and lines." And I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "Just do it." And I just like got a sheet of paper and just drew circles and lines, and she scanned it and then like copied and pasted my circles and lines to like help the illustrations and like draw arrows to
Yeah.
different features of different fossils and things. It was fun.
That's wild. You basically got to build your dream exhibit.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah,
It sounds like you really love what you do.
definitely, I do.
But if you could trade roles with anyone in the museum for a day, who would it be and why?
Oh, Dave might.
They might. Okay.
Yeah, that's an easy one.
It's a popular
'Cause
choice.
Very
Why?
popular.
Dave
choice.
might just has fun. He makes beautiful things, and it's all nature. And I mean, assuming I would adopt his
The
skill
skills that go
for
with
the
it,
day, like he just has earned freedom, and there's like, Dave, do this, and there's so much confidence that it's going to be amazing, and it's never a disappointment.
Because there are, going back to Ancient Worlds hiding in plain sight, the Ordovician Gallery, there are models that Dave kind of created
Yeah.
from scratch. There's one that looks like Trimmers. The worms from
the,
Trimmers.
yeah,
right?
the bristle worm or bobbit worm thing.
Yes.
It
that's
looks
what
like a
is.
bobbit worm. It's the Scalicodont, I believe.
That didn't fall in your top 3?
No.
number
Well, actually, I
4
didn't. I've only, like, in the past few years, really learned anything about Scalicodonts. I knew they were little worm jaws, but Rich Fuchs was a longtime volunteer in our museum. He's no longer with us, but he was maybe the Scalicodont expert of the
Really?
region. There's certainly a Scalicodont expert. I mean, he's an amateur paleontologist of the dry dredgers, so he wasn't a paleontologist by trade, but like so many other of the amateur paleontologists around here, they're so passionate that they've learned more than you would at like a PhD level on any one organism.
Wow. So you're Dave Might for the day. Is there something specific you would want to do, Dave Mighty, or you just say, let's see what the day brings?
I think I'd want to see what the day brings. I think I'd want it to involve some like model making.
Yeah.
Like, I think I'd like the model making more than necessarily the taxidermy. Not that I wouldn't like it. I just could see myself spending way too long on one of those projects.
Yeah. It's the way Dave works is amazing because you'll walk in when they were doing Get Into Nature, just had printouts of flowers.
Yeah.
And it just kind of taped around his station, and these tiny little flowers stuck in foam as he's, hand modeling, hand painting them and everything. It is such an art and such a skill. How about a walk-up song? If you had a walk-up song, what would that be?
Oh, a walk-up song. You're talking about like the baseball they play
Yeah.
out. Oh,
Yeah.
man. I don't know if I have an answer for this one.
With the 5 hat, would it be Somewhere Out There?
I'll go with that. Just like the saddest walk-up song.
Everyone's like, oh, man.
No, Pure Imagination. Willy Wonka.
Nice.
That is good.
I'm going to go with that one.
That is good. Are you a big candy person?
I'm a big Wonka person. I like chocolate. I'm a chocolate guy.
Yeah. What's your favorite chocolate?
Uh,
You're out in the field, you're going into town, you're running into Walmart. What candy are you buying? What chocolate are you buying?
Oh, I'm buying some dark chocolate with sea salt.
Okay. Are you
yeah,
like
I'm
the fancy kind?
Yeah, fancy. I don't love. I won't say I dislike, but I rarely go for like the chocolate with stuff in it, like nuts and chunks. I like my chocolate. I don't mind other flavors, but really just salt and chocolate. I'm a simple guy.
The berries and nuts, you don't like a little dark chocolate in that mix? Probably doesn't hold
yeah,
up
I
well.
like that. I like
Okay.
like if it's a trail mix.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it's chocolate added to things. I don't like things added to my chocolate. Is that fair?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
that is succinct. That makes sense.
Maybe
This
the
is-
simplest I've ever explained that.
I mean, listen, explaining your relationship with chocolate and plate tectonics, among other things, like you nailed it.
Well, I'm going to use your cookie thing, your analogy.
You could put dark chocolate chips in the cookies,
Ooh,
Let's marry the two.
there we go.
Do you have a cookie recipe you want us to attach to this episode?
I'm not a baker.
Cam's
I'm a
plate
cooker.
tectonic cookies.
I cook a lot of food. I don't bake a lot.
When you're cooking in the field, what are you cooking? What are you providing for the group?
Oh, what am I providing? I have often done breakfast. I've done ramen noodle day.
Yeah,
Ramen noodle day. Those are fun.
just a couple noodles. Or you...
For groups, if the opportunity arises, I would be cooking burgers and steaks. I like the grill. I cook a good steak.
Okay. Speaking of steaks and dinosaurs, would you consider the Flintstones a dinosaur film,
Oh, certainly.
or is that just adjacent?
Yeah. Man, that's another good one.
Wow, he does a lot of dinosaur stuff. doesn't
Wow,
he?
we could have a John Goodman dinosaur movie night.
People talk about Sam Neill being kind of the patron saint of
I think John Goodman's gonna beat at this point.
dinosaur media, but John Goodman is out there doing the Lord's work. All right, Cameron, this is awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. This has been fun.
Thank you.
Thank you all for listening to Meanwhile at the Museum. Remember, if you liked what you heard, please rate, review, and subscribe. And you can send us any questions or comments at meanwhile@cincymuseum.org. But most importantly, come check out Cincinnati Museum Center for yourself. Check out Ancient Worlds Hiding in Plain Sight. See Ordnance Fish and fossils on display in one of the most beautiful galleries we have here. Visit cincymuseum.org for the latest reasons to visit. We will catch you next time.